Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to take it back to basics and explain one of the fundamentals of digital marketing. What exactly is conversion tracking and why is it so important? Okay guys, so like I was saying, today's video, we're going to be just covering off on something fundamental because without understanding what conversion tracking is and the importance of conversion tracking, it's going to be very difficult to really properly understand other more advanced concepts. And conversion tracking is really, in my opinion, the linchpin to all of digital marketing. Without conversion tracking, digital marketing, well, really any marketing, but we're focusing primarily on digital marketing. But without conversion tracking, everything falls apart and you can't really make any sensible decisions about your marketing. So let's just get straight into it and you'll kind of see what I mean. So let's consider a basic campaign flow. So meaning that the first step is where a user sees an ad. And in this example, I'm using a Google ad, but we could be talking about Facebook ads. It doesn't really make any difference. It's all kind of more or less the same. So, and then we have the click on the ad. So they click the ad, they go through to the landing page, your website, or maybe you've got another landing page set up somewhere. Either way, they go to some kind of destination landing page when they click on that ad. And then after that click, hopefully, we have a conversion. And a conversion can be theoretically anything that is important for your business. But for us, the majority of people, all they care about is leads in the form of phone calls and like contact form submissions and things like that, or quote requests, or some kind of a form submission where they're sending their details to you and they want to hear back from you. That's typically what we measure as conversions. But if you have an e-commerce store, a conversion could potentially be an actual sale of a product, or it could be any other, if you had a newsletter sign up on your website, that could be a conversion for you. For us, primarily, we deal with leads as the conversion, the sort of the primary conversion action. So let's just imagine a phone call happening here. So that's all pretty straightforward. I think everyone should be fine with that concept. Now, in the context of our Google Ads campaign, this by default, this is all Google has visibility of. It can see the ad, of course, because it's controlling the ad, and it can tell if somebody clicks on the ad because this all happens on Google's platform. So what happens after when they land on the landing page? By default, the Google Ads campaign has no idea what happens after that. Did they call? Did they fill out the form? Did they just leave without doing anything? What did they do? Google has no idea if a conversion occurs or not. And that is a problem because currently all Google knows about is this. It knows, the cost to run the ads, and because it knows if somebody clicks on the ads, then it knows the CTR, or the click-through rate, meaning, for every 100 people that we show this ad to, 10 of those people click on the ad. So we have a click-through rate, and it can give you some other data like the cost per click and all that kind of thing because it knows the cost and it knows the number of clicks. So that's just simple maths that it can do. But if we want to know the cost per conversion, how much did the leads cost that came out of the campaign for the month? It's got no idea what that number is right now because we don't have any conversion tracking set up. So what happens is what we do is we install conversion tracking. And conversion tracking, if you're using Facebook calls it a conversion pixel. Google Ads has a conversion tracking script. A pixel is a term that gets thrown around a lot. Basically, it sounds really fancy and complicated. All a pixel is basically a script that piece of code that basically fires and sends a signal back into the ad account saying, hey, a conversion occurred. So basically it does this. So when somebody converts, the little piece of code runs and it sends a signal back into the ad account, whether it be Google or Facebook or whatever platform it is. And it goes, hey, somebody made a phone call or somebody submitted that form that you said was an important conversion for you, and it pushes that information back into the ad account. So now that the ad account is aware of that, and it has visibility over that, then it can calculate things like the cost per conversion. And that is important because once you have this number, this is, in my opinion, ultimately, yes, these numbers are important because, obviously you want to know how much you're spending on the ads. You want to know if the ads are performing well, like if people are clicking on them frequently or if they hate them. But ultimately, this is the number that matters, the cost per conversion. Because once you have that number, then you are able to figure out if your campaign is profitable or not. If the conversion is $20 and the product that you sells for $25, it's highly likely that the campaign's not profitable and you should probably just save that $500, stop spending it. Or you might be able to make some improvements to make the conversions cheaper or make those leads come through at a cheaper cost. If you had if your product or service that you sells for $500 or $1,000 and you're spending $20 per lead, then you would probably go, okay, this is a great deal. Let's spend more money. And likewise, in other videos, you can measure side by side and go, hey, the leads out of this campaign are costing $20, so that gives us X amount of profitability. And this other campaign has performs like this, so you can measure them side by side and see what works and what doesn't work and make sensible data-driven decisions. But none of that can happen if you don't have this conversion tracking installed. So I'm move my little face out of the way here, so you can see the moral of the story. The key takeaway is only do marketing if you can measure the cost per conversion. So to do that, you have to have conversion tracking installed. And this applies for whether you're doing digital marketing or whether you're doing offline marketing. You might think, well, how can I do conversion tracking if I'm doing like a fly drop, letterbox drop or something like that? Well, the easiest way, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. And some of the easiest and most common ways are to put on that flyer a unique tracking phone number that only exists on that flyer. So you know that within a pretty decent degree of accuracy that if someone calls that number, the only place they can have seen that number is on the flyer. So you can directly attribute all those calls to that marketing campaign. You'll see also companies do this on TV and radio a lot. If they want people to go to their website, they'll have a really special offer that they can only get by going to, so-and-so webadress.com.au/offer. And that's the only page where they can redeem that offer, and they have to insert a unique code or something like that. And so then they can go, okay, well, we had so many leads come through this specific page on the website, and the only way that people could have possibly heard about that page is through the radio campaign or through the magazine ad that we published. So those are some common techniques to effectively create conversion tracking in an offline marketing campaign. So whether it's online or offline, there are absolutely simple ways that you can effectively implement conversion tracking. And once you do that, it makes measuring everything else with your marketing so much easier. So make sure that your conversion tracking is in place with your marketing, or don't do the marketing at all, because there's literally no point in doing marketing unless you can measure the conversions and the cost per conversions.